Good afternoon and welcome to Democratic Services Committee, Monday the 29th of July. We shall start the agenda. The first item is the election of Vice Chair for the year 24-25. Do you have any nominations? Thank you.
I vote Wendy.
Happy? Wendy? Any seconders?
I second that, Chair.
I'll second.
Is all in favour? I think that's unanimous. Is anybody against? I can't see on the screen properly. No. Okay, we'll move on. Any apologies for absence?
No apologies, Chair.
Right. Has anybody got any disclosures of personal prejudicial interests? No. We'll keep moving on. The minutes. Next item, to approve and sign the minutes of the previous meeting as a correct record. This was going back to the 18th of March. Would anybody like to move them? Thank you. Second. Thank you. Next item. Democratic Services Committee report for 23-24. I presume all looked at it?
Yeah, shall I comment on this?
Yes, please.
So, thank you all. It's the Democratic Services Committee Annual Report 23-24. It sets out the work of the committee over that time. It's specific from the 18th of May to the 23 to the 15th of May 24. The forward there by the chair, so thank you for the chair for filling those in, and then into the main body sets out who the members are of the committee, the dates that the committee met. Then it outlines on page 9 the terms of reference of the committee, and going on to talk about the activities, what is the Democratic Services function, and then specifically the report, the work that's been carried out over the year. I know it only meets 3 times a year, but it's the whole purpose of Democratic Services Committee is to ensure that councillors are adequately looked after, to make sure they are able to do to do their requirements as a councillor. You'll see in paragraph 6 of the report, it talks about the member training that was available. Obviously, there are always other courses available for other committees across the board, but these are the broad theme ones that were done during the year. Then it goes on to, in paragraph 7, outlines the Democratic Services team and the work that the Dem Services team does, and then it finishes in item 8, just gives some contact details. So any comments on the report, anything you think I've missed out on, anything you feel it should be improved, or if you're happy, it can be recommended onwards to council.
Francesca?
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Hugh, and for the report. It's really interesting being a new member just to see what the committee does. And this may be a silly question, but I'm told there's never a silly question. But in the report, you've got 5.5 councillors' annual report. You know, it says the committee were reminded of the process to enable all councillors to complete an annual report of their activities during the previous year. Is that for all councillors, or is that just for the committee? Just because I've never done anything like that.
That's fine. Yeah, it's sent out via email, and oddly enough, that's the item I was going to raise in the work plan for the next item. But it's as well to raise it here. The council must have this stems from the local government measure 2011. The council must have a system in place whereby councillors are able to write an annual report for their previous year. You're limited to 2 sides of A4 papers. That's what legislation states. However, for a cabinet member, they're allowed 3 sides of an A4 sheet of paper. There is a template that we've adopted as a committee, which obviously I intend to bring to the next meeting if you all approve that, just for us to review it quickly. It sets I've tried to simplify it over the years to give you more space in your A4 sheets by putting web links to your attendance rather than listing the attendance into the A4 sheet, because obviously it takes up space. A web link is one line, gives you more room then to outline the work you've done. I always urge councillors to keep a running sort of dialogue on their diaries or whatever about the work they've done for the year, because it's a great way to promote you as a councillor and to promote the council too. So yeah, at the next meeting, I intend bringing a report on this, just to remind you of what's available to you, to try and promote it, because it's fair to say very few councillors take advantage of this opportunity, and it's good because it does promote the work you do, and it's a useful thing. So I'd like to see it promoted and improved going forward.
Can we move on to the work plan?
Well, are you all happy to approve the report?
Oh, sorry. Is everybody happy to approve the report? See lots of nods and hands up, so I take that as yes. Thank you. So we move on to the last item, which is the work plan for the rest of this year.
Okay, thank you. Well, work plan, it's always difficult to try and find suitable items, and it is a member-led committee really to see what you feel you need. The council annual report, certainly I'm keen to grow that and try and get more and more councillors to sign up to it and to start publishing them. So that's one suggestion I certainly have. I'd like to look at training again, just to perhaps put a diary out outlining the training as far as I can for the forthcoming year, so that it's not just dumped on you. We're giving you 2 weeks notice. Diarised further in advance, it certainly helps. So those are the main things I'm looking at, but any comments I'd willingly take.
Have you got any comments, questions?
Indeed.
Is it
Adam, please.
Adam? Thank you.
Hello. Thank you for the verbal report, Hugh. I just wanted to. I'm sorry if this is the wrong opportunity to flag it, but I know in previous committees we've had discussions about potentially having different departments doing workshops and things prior to a meeting of full council in the atrium or by the mayor's parlour. I still think this would be something I think would be worthwhile to pursue. I know we have had some departments I think have provided the opportunity before council. I can't remember off the top of my head which ones, but I still think, I'm 2 years into being a councillor now. There's still a lot to learn, still a lot of people to meet, and still, it's still like an ongoing process. And I think a bit of face-to-face contact with departments in like a drop-in format or something like that, I think would be welcomed. I don't know what anybody else's opinions are on it. Thank you.
Just to be clear, Adam, obviously what you're suggesting is pre each council meeting, perhaps for an hour before, 4 till 5, there's some officers from a particular team that stand there just to be able to answer any questions councillors may have. It's that sort of informal you're looking at, is it?
Yeah, similar to what we had when we had the big marketplace event, but like a much smaller one. I appreciate that it may not be possible to have a department or a team at every council meeting, but I think a few a year would go a long way to just helping councillors put faces to names and allow the departments to showcase themselves a bit better, so they can help us with their work, and we can sing their praises when we're talking to residents about the good work they do, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I can certainly raise that with CMT. I can see the logic in that, and it is useful to get some face-to-face back there, because those are where the links are made, really. Yeah, certainly raise that, pick that up for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Has anybody else got any comments, ideas? Don't see anybody. Hugh, have you got any other ideas of things that might be coming forward legally?
No, nothing. It's quite static legally at the moment, because obviously the big act came in 21, so there's no real changes at the moment. But obviously, as we work through things, we'll keep reviewing. But there's a fair bit of work there for the next meeting, certainly.
Thank you. Well, thank you all for coming. That was short and sweet. Our next meeting is Monday, the 11th of November. Same time, same place.
Thanks all.